Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi to everybody in the chat. Welcome to all the members there in the chat. So great to see you. Wonderful to see all of you. I want to thank my mods who are going to help out today. I know Nancy's here and Mama Opal's here and Are You Jellin is here. And yeah, they're going to be here. So if you have a question, put question in all caps and have your question follow. That'll help us kind of keep things straight. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We are just exposing Scientology one news recap at a time over here. We talk about my own 35 years in Scientology and leaving with the 3 generations of my family that were in. Throughout the week, I'm also going to do interviews, including today. So when you hit that subscribe button, be sure to hit the notification bell so you get those. Everyone who's here already, if you could do me that big favor and go hit that like button, it'll help us to get out even more notifications. I appreciate you guys all being here. We are going to get into a lot of stuff. We are going to get into some Katie Holmes news, a little bit of the JT John Travolta, a ton of stuff that's been happening in the protest world. We're going to get into all of that all over the place, from Hollywood, Portland, oh my goodness, all over. Austin, something crazy happened over there. We're going to talk about that. Just all the things. We're going to get into all the things. I wanted to thank Juanita for being a member for 2 months. Thank you, Juanita, so much for all of your support. You're always so kind. And thank you for your lovely notes as well. Nancy Alley, today is our day in court. That is a great reminder because today, Nance Drew from Chicago has her court hearing from, you guys remember, the whole alleged boob attack when the Scientology staff member in Chicago claims that there was contact made that Nance herself didn't even feel with him, with her boob. And yeah, it's apparently a whole thing, but there's a court hearing today. Cannot wait to hear about that and what happens. Let's answer this question first, too. Jersey, I was reading Liz Gale's book yesterday, and she said a squirrel is someone who practices Scientology outside the church's confines. How then are the protesters squirrels? Well, squirrel also, Scientology refers to anybody who alters the technology of L. Ron Hubbard, because they automatically, if you are practicing Scientology outside of the confines, you're not paying Scientology for it. You are a squirrel because they are going off the assumption and the narrative that you are altering L. Ron Hubbard's technology if you're practicing it outside of Scientology. So if you do the same auditing, but you're not paying Scientology for it, you are a squirrel. So the protesters, who often share things like the clear cognition, Xenu, body things, all those things that Scientologists are not allowed to talk about. In fact, most of what we talk about, if not all, Scientologists are not allowed to talk about. So by doing so, we are altering the rules of Scientology, and therefore Scientology would consider all of us to be squirrels. So if you've wondered, you probably are a squirrel. And later on today, I'm going to be doing an interview with the SP chef. And we are going to talk about, we're actually going to do a little test we put together to find out, are you a suppressive person? Now, I've been officially declared a suppressive person by Scientology for quite some time. But here's the thing. Many of you might be suppressive people and you just don't know it. So we're going to go over the points with you later on today at 12 p.m. Central Time. That's my time. And answer the question of, are you already an SP? You might be a suppressive person and you might not even know it. Let me tell you that. So we are going to jump into this. I also wanted to say a big happy birthday to Leanna. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing that right. I see in the chat, SP Pasadena. I do know that it is her birthday today. So shout out to you and your husband, Joe, as well. Okay, people, let's talk about this whole Katie Holmes thing. Is Katie Holmes writing a tell-all book about Tom Cruise? And it has to be about Scientology as well, because you can't do one without the other, because Scientology played such a role in not so much, in a way, the ending of their marriage, because she left with that kid because of Scientology. I think that's pretty obvious. Suri was getting to the age where her Scientology indoctrination would be starting, and Scientology filled that house full of Scientologists to what? Spy. To spy on Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes and report back to Scientology. So I don't blame her one bit for getting out of there. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what are they saying? What are they saying? They, which by the way, in Scientology, if you use the word they as a generality, not being specific, that's considered to be a trait of the antisocial personality. They say, let's see what they say. They say Katie Holmes may be writing a book. Katie has been notoriously silent on her marriage to Tom since they called it quits, though fans are eager to know her side of the story. Some recent reports suggest that could happen soon, as the Dawson Creek's alum may be considering a memoir to share her perspective, especially now that Suri is a legal adult. For years, Katie's enjoyed a lavish lifestyle thanks to Tom's consistent support, a source claimed to In Touch. But as their child nears adulthood, both mother and daughter are facing an uncertain future. It's a terrifying prospect going from an amazing standard of living to a question mark overnight. Following the report, however, Katie released a statement via her lawyer denying claims she's worried about money. Whether or not she's writing a memoir remains to be seen. And I get that. Honestly, I don't think that girl's worried about money. She has worked. She is working. She's talented. And yeah, I don't know. I hope so, right? I just cannot wait. Like, I really hope so. Because, Siri is an adult now. And I think, too, aside from it just being super salacious, right? It would give such insight, an insider look at what it means to be in that celebrity world of Scientology. And it is twisted. Let me tell you that. So I'm hoping she's doing it. You guys tell me, if she wrote a book, would you read it? Tell me in the chat. Would you read Katie Holmes' book? If you're catching this on the replay, jump in those comments. Would you read it? I would totally read it. I mean, honestly, I would probably do an audio book. So I hope she gets someone good to read it if she does, in fact, do that. Now, let's see here. You guys know how, just like that article was talking about, Suri Cruz recently became a legal adult by turning 18. Did you see there are some of Tom Cruise's earlier statements about fatherhood and his child that are kind of coming back to haunt him? So this is from E! News. And you guys know we've been talking about here on the channel how Tom Cruise has been doing the damage control tour with his other children to show what a great dad he is, because the media was having a frenzy with Suri, not just turning 18, but also dropping the Cruise last name. So all that's going on. So what do his people do? They come up with, oh, hey, let's leak photos of Tom and his other children that have never been seen before. Let's do that. Well, it's still kind of backfiring because there's also some quotes that came up. So listen to this. As for his youngest child, how much time Tom spends with now 18-year-old Suri has been a subject of speculation ever since he and Katie divorced in 2012 after less than 6 years of marriage. Now, this is a quote from Tom Cruise. "My whole life, I always wanted to be a father," Tom told Vanity Fair for the October 2006 cover story that introduced Suri to the world at 3 months old. Quote, "I always said to myself that my children would be able to depend on me and I would always be there for them and love them, that I'd never make a promise to my kids that I couldn't keep. I'm not one of those people who believe you can spoil a child with too much love. You can never give a child too much love. There's just no way." Tom Cruise. Huh. Let's do the math. Let's see. Okay, that was 2006. Suri, they split up. Let's see. How much time did they spend together? How has he been parenting and taking care of Suri financially, I'm sure? And props, I give him that. Shout out to you, Tom Cruise, for doing that. But let's see. Love and all that. Has that been a thing? Has that been a thing? No, it is not. So just a little bit of words coming back to haunt you. Maybe he never promised it, because he said he would never make a promise to his children he couldn't keep. So maybe he never actually promised that love. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. Welcome everybody who's raiding over from Sunrise Dawn. Great to see you here. Thank you so much for jumping in with us. Yeah, LA and Toronto, he is so gross. He is. He really is. It's so a thing. It is. Yep, some dads think money is being a dad. And you know what? That goes both ways. Let's just be fair. Some parents think money is being a parent. I will say that. Sandy McKenna. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And I say it like that because I'm not doing Sandy justice with the beautiful accent that she has that I love so much. But yeah, you're right. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Absolutely. Okay, so what do you guys think about? We're going to go look at this story here because supposedly, allegedly, John Travolta has claimed that he is adopting a vow of celibacy ever since the death of his wife, Kelly Preston, who passed away due to breast cancer in 2020, I believe it was. What are our thoughts on this? Can you guys tell me in the chat what you think? Tell me in the comments if you're dropping in on this afterwards. Let's talk about this. John Travolta has taken a vow of celibacy after losing wife Kelly Preston. John Travolta married Kelly Preston in 91. She passed away in 2020. Now, this article is from May 19th, so this is recent. John Travolta's kids wish he'd get back to dating after losing their mom, Kelly Preston, to cancer in 2020. According to a source, John's daughter, Ella, 23, and son, Ben, 13, are all for another romance in his life. Everyone wants him to be happy and fall in love again, a source told In Touch. Ella and Benjamin want him to start dating, but John is always making excuses. He says they have to come first. It's been almost 4 years since she passed, and John still refuses to move on with his life, the source added. So she passed away at 57. They lost their son in 2009, I believe, when he was 16. This article also shares that, and his religion doesn't seem to be the biggest priority to him anymore either since Kelly's passing. He's just not as connected to his faith as he once was, the source added. What do you guys think? Do you think he really said that, or he would be doing that? I'm still trying to process. I'm not sure what to think about that exactly, but there it is. Now, we can just keep chatting about that. So, some that has me excited. You guys know I am addicted to Sins of Scientology, the true crime for Scientology. They just dropped a teaser for episode 2. Episode 1 was about L. Ron Hubbard and his shady past and the shenanigans and lies that Scientology have told about his history. Well, you're never going to get what you're totally going to guess. Episode 2 is about David Miscavige. Osa, you might want to wake up for this one. Osa. Okay. Episode 2 is on David Miscavige. Let's take a look at this trailer. I'm going to show you guys. I'm so excited. I hate that they're teasing me with a trailer. I want to see it now. Here you go.
Welcome to the Sins of Scientology, a true crime podcast. In this episode, we delve into the shadowy world of a man at the helm of one of the most controversial and secretive organizations in the world. How did a boy from Pennsylvania, once plagued by illness, rise to wield immense power within a global empire? What dark secrets are hidden behind closed doors, where allegations of abuse, forced abortions, and high-profile defections cast long shadows? And what really happened to the leader's wife, who mysteriously vanished from a public view? Join us as we uncover the tale of ruthless ambition, control, and a relentless quest for power. Each revelation will leave you questioning the true nature of this secretive organization and the elusive leader. Stay with us as we unravel the sins at the core of Scientology.
Oh, I'm so excited. Sandy, you're here. When does that episode drop? Because I just don't know if I can wait much longer. No sense in Miscavige's past for sure. Oh, no, nothing to see there. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm very excited about that. Very excited. A little bit back to this John Travolta thing. Brenda's saying, I think in his way, I think this is his way of just following his homosexual tendencies, but keeping it casual only. I think he loved his wife, so maybe that part is sincere. I agree. I do believe that he loved his wife. So, maybe he's just, I don't know. I just find it hard to believe. But maybe he never even said that. I don't know. But yes, this Sins of Scientology thing sounds, Nancy said it drops today. Yay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that. Yes, I am. All right, let's take a look at, did you guys catch the video with Mike Brown and Sterling and Jenny? They did about growing up in the Sea organization. It was a great chat that they had. It was revealing at times. It was even funny. It actually was really funny. There's this one part. There's this one part because they were like in the cadet org and stuff together for around, when they were kids around that age, where Mike Brown and Jenny give Sterling a hard time about the clear bracelet that he used to run around wearing as a kid. I thought that was hilarious. So very, very informative. But Mike Brown brings up something that we talk about, and we're going to keep talking about it. He has been sharing the story of his mother, Rosemary, and the elder abuse that occurred with her in Scientology. We have seen more and more and more elderly people, especially in the Sea Org, out pressure washing up in trees. And there is a growing concern, a concern that Scientology has not addressed. What's going to happen with these elderly Sea Org members as they get older? As we get older, we need more medical care. Are they getting checkups? Are the men in the Sea Org getting PSA tests, which is a blood test you check for prostate cancer, which all men should be doing no later than by the age of 50? It's a screening blood test. 1 in 6 men will develop prostate cancer. Are they doing that? I don't think so. What about the women? What about breast exams? What about as people age, more things come up? I mean, heart, we've got, not to mention just the education that goes along with taking care of yourselves and empowering yourself with knowledge so you can better handle your own health. Those things are not happening. So let's take a little look at what he says here.
Yes. So that old dude, he's in PBC. He's like the fire IC, or he's in charge of something in the main building. They had him out there pressure washing. Now just think about that. They don't get that a guy in his 80s shouldn't be doing manual labor like that. I mean, some people do it. He's not power washing his personal house. He's power washing a commercial location. Like, he's working, and it could have been on the weekend. I don't know what day it was exactly, but he's out there doing that just to make noise. When Rosemary looked at that, she's like, oh my God, this makes no sense. I know who that guy is, but they don't even see it as a problem. But like, our parents and a lot of other people adjacent to our parents, they are aging, and they are going to reach like old people problems where they're going to have physical ailments. They're going to have dementia. They're going to have whatever. And there is no system in place other than to kind of stuff them in a house and have them like write letters and do all this sort of stuff to take care of them properly. I've talked to Catherine Spallino about it. We were trying to help her at one point. Yes. So that old dude, he was in PBC. He's like the fire IC or
That was the older gentleman who was doing the pressure washing. And I couldn't believe it when I heard that, because I remember Hank. And wow, that did not look anything like Hank. I did not recognize him. But, we all get older and we change as we get older. But he looked much more frail than I ever remember him looking. So these are some really good questions that are being brought up by Mike Brown and others, and need to be continued to be brought up. What's the plan here, David Miscavige? In fact, also wake up again. Here's the deal. You got to be prepared. You need to be prepared to be able to handle this and address it. So you need to put something in place. You need to do something. You need to show us that Sea Org members are getting proper health care, especially the elderly. Otherwise, you know what it is? It's elder abuse. That's what it is, because they're not going to get proper care. And you know what's going to happen? You already have a large number of Sea Org members who are aging. What's happening to them? Where are they going to go? How are you going to take care of them? We know you can't, because we know what happened to Rosemary. And go watch Mike Brown's channel if you do not know. And GM Flower, good point. Hank, who is believed to be in his 80s now, was running a forklift by himself after dark last night. That doesn't even sound safe. It doesn't. Anyways, we need to keep talking about it. It is so crazy. Lily, you're right. Seeing the elderly being abused makes me so angry. Yeah, absolutely. And Brenda, I too am glad that we have Mike Brown, who's continuing to speak up on the elder abuse and neglect. I agree completely. Yes, Winston, PSA tests and the finger after you were a 50-year-old man. They don't actually do the finger anymore, at least not. I don't know if, Winston, I don't know if you're in the States or where you are, but I know at least here in Minnesota, it's a blood test. They do the blood test. And then if they need to, explore more, I do believe they do, but it's not necessarily like the first thing that they do anymore. No surprise. I think studies actually showed that it just wasn't as effective in screening, but the PSA blood test is very effective in screening and early detection. Yeah, DW, I know. That's a good point. They abuse children. Why do you think they'd be concerned about the elderly? Yeah, they're not, but we can force them to be by continuing to bring it up. Just like with kids, there was a time when children were being born into the Sea organization. Their solution, David Miscavige's solution, was to ban that and coerce women in the Sea organization into ending their pregnancies as a solution. But they never should have had children there in the first place. So they got rid of those facilities, and in doing so, got rid of children being born in. Then they were only recruiting children into the Sea organization at 12, 13, 14, and so on. My sister started in the Sea organization when she was 14 years old. She was trafficked from Hawaii, where we lived, to Los Angeles, and then the international management base for Scientology. So there you go. There you go. Winston, thank you. Gifting 20 Scientology Life After a Cult memberships. Hip, hip, hooray. Everybody do it with me. Hip, hip, hooray. It's the membership dance. I'm developing it. I'm workshopping it. I'm working on it. I know we're not quite there yet. And so you can go back to sleep right now. Yes, thumbs up to the PSA test. I'm not going to stop talking about that either with all of you, because if you are a man or you have a man close to you, you're going to want him to start doing this. Makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so let's go to our next thing here. What's our next thing, you say? Why, Chalking with Jay, JDSA over outside L. Ron Hubbard Way. Lots what's going on over there. And Jay was jumping on to using L. Ron Hubbard's own words and throwing them back at Scientology, because let's be honest, it's an incredible amount of fun. And then watching if they're going to go scrub that off later, it is going to throw them completely. You don't even need to use the quotes by L. Ron Hubbard. I mean, use them both. There are going to be quotes by L. Ron Hubbard that are outright like, ooh, that did not age well, but it is still a belief in Scientology. A lot of his homophobic comments would be good, but there's also quotes by L. Ron Hubbard that will remind Scientologists and Sea Org members about what LRH said. Not that they follow it or do it, right? But it reminds them that what they're living, what they're experiencing is in conflict with that. And that, my friends, is a good thing. So let's take a look at this. Hey, Aaron, good to see you there. I'm glad you're back. We need to do a video. I have ideas. I have had ideas while you've been traveling. Okay, so Jay was using L. Ron Hubbard quotes and writing them in chalk. Let's take a look at it, and then we can talk about it. And I've got a few too. That which one fears becomes one's master. That's a good one, because, Scientology is fearing the protesters. And that is my wish for you. Flourish and prosper.
Yep.
Staff members flourishing and
some really good stuff down.
Prospering in Scientology. They're not. Are you making life, or is life making you? Again, communication is a universal solvent. We know that Scientologists and Sea Org members are not allowed to communicate. Why not come out and communicate, find out what the deal is, what's happening? Very few of them do. And when they do, what happens? They get yanked back in by Scientology. I love this one too. Your family misses you. I love that. Lots of chalking going on. The first step to handling anything is learning how to face it. Again, if you find yourself in a situation where people are protesting your organization / religion / cult, you might want to start with facing what the deal is. What are people saying? What is the disagreement? What is the hoo-ha? Find out and address it. Per their own cult leader, that is what they should be doing. Now, I want to share a couple more with you that I found because I think these would be good in chalk. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm just going to read them here. There's one, it's from a policy letter called Solve It with Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard says, if the org slumps during this transition period, don't engage in fundraising or selling postcards or borrowing money. Scientology does almost nothing but engage in fundraising. This flies in the face of what L. Ron Hubbard said to do. This can often be helpful with existing Scientologists to remind them that what they're doing is actually squirrel. It's totally squirrel, speaking of squirrel. And throw in some quotes as well, showing what a homophobe and a bigot L. Ron Hubbard was. And you really round it out. So, Scientology has been trying to create this narrative that there's this hate speech being written. It is not hate speech. It is the truth about Scientology. Well, if protesters put down in chalk actual quotes by L. Ron Hubbard, if you're calling that hate speech, well, then what are you saying about your own founder? So I think we should just all have some fun with that. So if you're doing that, somebody who is, send me a clip, send me a link with a timestamp to Natalie@lifeafteroccult.com because I would love to see that. All right, let's look at, okay, this is from Jessica Palmadessa's stream. She was with Confident Chris, and she got a really good look at some Sea Org members going in, even though Scientology, as per usual, was trying to block some stuff off. But look at this.
The Sea Org, guys. Wait, why does that actually look like Sebastian? No, it's not. Sea Orgs, guys.
It's okay to leave the Sea Org. It's okay to leave the Sea Org.
They look really young, and that one tall one in the back, at first I was like, is that Julian? But I can't see that far, so I couldn't quite tell. Aaron, you would know if you saw that. But good spotting of some Sea Org members there who probably parked in a different parking lot or something, or were coming over. I don't quite know where they're coming from, but they're heading in the back towards the Continental Liaison Office. And also what might be a side door for the Advanced Org of Los Angeles. They got to be using a side door because there's just hardly anybody coming in and out the front. And, now that I think about it, it just might be that way. Just hardly anybody's coming in and out the front. And that is the way that it is. Off of L. Ron Hubbard Way there, Tori Magoo 44 and Jay were having some really fun pizza time. Let's take a look at that. I love when these two are together.
And he'd talk. He'd answer us.
They would actually react or respond at a certain point. Yeah, they're nonverbal nowadays.
Yeah, they're so dead now. It's really sad.
It's actually.
So they're talking about the way that Scientology responds with security, with their handlers. Because if you guys remember, Tori Magoo 44 was a Scientology handler. She was a volunteer for the Office of Special Affairs. Osa, you lost one of yours and we're keeping her. But we got one that you could probably take back. So that's kind of like what they're chatting about, the difference in how it was before for Tori and seeing Sea Org members and security now.
Yeah, it is sad. That's a good way to put it.
But I can't see why people would stay with something like that. I just can't. I mean, in the old days.
It's probably comfort. It's comfortable. The thought of being uncomfortable is scary for some people.
Yeah, that's true. And where are they going to go? That's what a lot of them think.
Yeah. Well, what do they think? But the reality is.
And a lot of them also think everyone is in Scientology. All of their friends are gone. Mm-hmm. They're either dead or they're in Scientology.
This is so true, and why these live streams all over the world and the country showing that these Scientology organizations are in fact empty. They're these big multi-million-dollar buildings with multi-million-dollar renovations that look nice. Some of them even have nice landscaping, but they are empty. They are ghost towns. They're like something out of North Korea. So they're making a really good point there. And also, I just love seeing Jay and Tori hanging out. I absolutely do. And this is where, too, the SPTV Foundation comes in. in helping these people to reestablish themselves in life, right? Because many of them, like she's saying, some don't have people on the outside. Some don't have a bank account, a driver's license, so many things, cell phone. The world has changed a lot for some of these Sea Org members who have been living very secluded within the Sea Organization, some of them for decades. So let's take a look at Tori just had a lot of good advice last night. Did you guys catch when she was even giving Solomon some advice, reminding him that the internet is forever?
You see this, kids? You see what I mean? What are you doing this?
You see what I mean?
Scenario.
You see what I mean?
Solomon, listen to me.
Listen to Tori, please.
Listen to Tori.
Is going to be on the internet for the rest of your life. So I know you go like this, but just be a little bit careful about it.
Yeah, I am.
Of course. He goes, yeah, I am, of course.
What's the choice say?
He's not, right?
No.
About what?
I don't blame you. I would have been the same way at your age. I would have been disastrous.
About going out?
There wasn't an internet at your age, at my age. At your age. I would have been disastrous.
You see this, kids? You see what I
Tori,
mean?
what are you doing this?
I love too how she says, like, I would have been a disaster. I don't doubt that. She was Tori, when you listen to her stories from before, she was a wild one. She was a spitfire, and it's so great when she shares them. Speaking of sharing, did you guys catch Feral Cheryl on the Loose and her live stream where she just dropped some tea about one of L. Ron Hubbard's kids, Diana? I caught that. Others caught that. Let's take a little look at what she was saying. This is Feral Cheryl in Clearwater.
LRH's apartments up top there, he never managed to live in them. His daughter Diana did, though. But now she's stuck in Gold Base back in the California mountains, washing her daddy's clothes every day and sitting on his bed. And that's all she does every day. To be the daughter, the heiress to a whole religion, and you're stuck in a building and you're not allowed to go anywhere, do anything, talk to anyone.
Oh, kind of like that.
No beingness.
You mean kind of like that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, they take away your beingness. That's what Scientology does. They're not giving you beingness. They're taking beingness away from you. Because you're not allowed to be certain ways. So you're not being you anymore. You're not allowed to be empathetic. You're not allowed to be caring.
Being Scientology.
So they're taking away your beingness.
So like your personality, who you are as an individual, the expression of what your values are, all of that. But there's also a reminder that L. Ron Hubbard's daughter is probably not living her best life. And Diana is the only remaining Hubbard family member that I'm aware of that is still in Scientology. I would love to see her leave and still have a life. I mean, she's known nothing. Well, she's known some life outside of that. I mean, she did put out an album way back when. I don't know if you guys know this. Diana Hubbard put out an album and she's written music. I think she went to a music school in London. So she has been able to experience life outside of just the Sea Org in that way. I just, would love to see her leave. Everybody leave. Okay. Did you guys see Relatable Reese's stream when she went to Kansas City in front of the Kansas City org, was out there and runs into people from Scientology? And I know what you're thinking. Did they scream? Did they go, oh, suppress a person and go running? No, not this lady. You got to see what happened. You guys got to see this. This was fantastic. This is outside Kansas City org. And again, this is from the stream from Relatable Reese.
Here comes Claudia Korchak. I'm going to step out because I know her. Yeah, well, it's a good day though, Mom. Hey, Claudia.
Hey. Oh my gosh.
How's it going, gal? Aw.
You look beautiful.
Thanks. Nice to see you.
Where
you
have
look good
you
too.
been?
Well, here and there,
Here
you
and
know.
there, everywhere.
Yeah. Are you on staff?
Yeah, I'm the nanny.
You're the nanny? Oh, that's a lot.
And
That's
the cleaning when I don't have kids. I'm like,
Oh my God. And cleaning? Nanny and cleaning?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, what the
Wow.
heck?
Hi, Eric Locke. Haven't seen you in a long time. Nice to see you. Are you still married?
Yeah.
Nice. Good. Good to see you, Claudia.
Still not married.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look for somebody for you. That's cute. Bye.
So that woman, the older woman, Reese said she was like around 75 or so years old, obviously did not get the memo that Reese left Scientology and started a YouTube channel that's been successful and going on for quite some time now. It shows you how compartmentalized Scientology is. They don't always want it known that so-and-so left. And Scientologists are indoctrinated to not ask. When you just don't see someone all of a sudden, you don't ask. You just don't ask. Rumors fly, people talk, but obviously no one's been talking to her. Disturbing thing about that, she's like, Reese said she's around 75 years old. She's the nanny and the cleaner for Scientology. And didn't she say she doesn't even have kids? So that's kind of ironic, but that is a lot. That is a lot of physical labor to be a nanny and be cleaning at that age for Scientology. Very interesting indeed. Yes, see girls showing Reese so happy and thriving makes them think. Yeah, it does. That's why Scientology doesn't want members to see members who have left, especially ones that they liked or thought well of. Because then they'll ask what she did. Like, hey, haven't seen you. Where you been? It's a whole thing. So I'm so glad that that happened. Now let's go take a look at Brain Fog, I think, who was outside San Francisco Scientology. And you find things in the garbage there. You might have an Aaron Cairo sighting while he's hiding out from the skateboard community, trying to pretend he's not running Scientology in San Francisco, but he is. What you don't expect to see is a random kid left alone outside the door. Or do you expect to see it? I don't know. Let's look at this clip and you guys tell me.
Your comment, not in your name. What are you doing out here by yourself? Shouldn't you be inside with somebody? Hey, there's a child out here, you freaks. Go on in. Go on back in. It's okay. Seriously. Okay, go in. Thank you. Might want to keep an eye on them, you freaks. Now I'm mad. She was just standing there. She was playing with the door. And then she stopped when I walked by and she's just standing there. I moved the phone away so I could talk to her. And she's just sitting there staring at me. And the first time I said, there's a child out here. And it took him a couple of seconds. You guys are sicker than I ever thought. That is not an adult in that body. That is a child, you freaks. Woo, I'm not having a good day. Well, now I'm not having a good day.
That was, you see her in the beginning and then she moves the camera away because she's, a child. But just, what is she? 4? Maybe 4, 3, 4. And she's looking right at her too. Just so weird. Like, what's happening there? What's going on? And I love that she just calls him out on it. Hey, you got a kid out here. Yeah, she was shocked for a while. You guys got to go watch the video. Seagirl says it's just heartbreaking. Little girl wants to escape. She knows where the party's at too. She probably just feels the vibe. Like that lady out there, has a good vibe. Andrew, yeah, just standing there. And from what I could see on the video and hear, she could not see any adult around. And that's what was so disturbing about it. Yeah, Lily, she totally could have run into the busy road. It totally reminded me of myself and my sister when we ran around Waikiki unsupervised as children at 7 and 9, but at least older than that little girl was out there. Think about it. If Brain Fog, I think, which is her name here on YouTube, wasn't out there, would the little girl have just walked away or gone off or gone exploring? I don't know. I just don't know. I just know it's disturbing as all get out. Right? I know, Ash. Seriously, where is CPS to step in and rescue these kids? Oh, okay. So Brain Fog sat on their step, keep children from escaping inside of the pergola long enough. They came out and told her to move and threatened to call police. She told them to call the police. Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Carrie Ann. Hey, Blowdro. Great to see you. I remember being a little kid in the orgs and missions, also unsupervised. Yeah, completely. Completely. Just mind-boggling. It truly is. Meanwhile, over in Vegas, we're going to take a look at Pup Groomer 20, who has a conversation with an elderly, actually, you know what? She doesn't have a conversation with him, but she starts talking to him as he comes by. He reads her sign, and look what happens.
Hi. You know you can leave? The SBTV Foundation can help you leave, help you with food, housing.
You see, he stood there for a little bit and was reading her signs.
Help you reconnect with any family members you've had to disconnect from. You are loved. Phone number is at 727-266-5797. You have a wonderful day.
Just walking across that empty parking lot into the Scientology building. He's a staff member. Based on where he came from, there's lots of parking, so I don't know that he came by car, right? Maybe he came by bus and was walking in. And you can see she's very shaken by this encounter. I'm going to show you what happened right afterwards. I love that she said, "You are loved," shared information, help is available.
Oh, that poor man. Oh. He read my sign. All I can do is give him the phone number again. Yes. Yes. I want to reconnect. That just absolutely broke my heart. Okay.
And rightfully so. Rightfully so. We're seeing this more and more. See, girl, good point. He's trapped in an abusive org. Yes. And doesn't know it, knows it to some degree, right? You know something's not right, but they convince you so much that it's your issue, it's your problem. If you're critical or you feel like you're leaving or you feel like you're needing some time off or some downtime because your body hurts because of just your age, that is all other fish to fry in Scientology. You need a security check, you need some reprogramming and whatnot. And it is heartbreaking to see. It should be. And that's what needs to be seen and shared and known about, because somebody needs to do something. We need to continue to put pressure on Scientology to take care of their staff, their Sea Org members, specifically the ones who are elderly or children, because those are two groups that aren't known for advocating for themselves. You know what I mean? Kids can't consent to what's going on. They're just going to go along with it. And people who are elderly, especially who've been trapped and are being manipulated and used as free labor, right? When they should be maybe focused on something else. You know, when is enough enough? When Scientology sends them off like they did Rosemary, you know, to try and cover up the fact of the aging Sea Org members that they have. Oh, it just sets you on fire. Now let's go over to Portland and look at Rika. Rika shares some goofy LRH quotes chalked outside Scientology Portland, and people just have a blast walking by and checking it out. Look at this.
Their goofy cult leader said that.
Really?
Yeah.
I just said, because I didn't see the building when
Yep.
we were walking by. I was walking that way. I said,
Right.
"Where's the Scientology?"
Yep.
I didn't even know there was.
I know they are. They're barely surviving, guys.
Yeah, I'm like,
4 people arrived to cult this morning. We're winning. They're losing. We're on YouTube, SPTV. There's over 100 channels of us all over the world doing this. Outside of all the Scientologies. Again, have a wonderful birthday. You're welcome.
So sweet. I think there's like over 190 now channels, at least on sptv.space. If you head over there, people who are live streaming, protesting Scientology, covering it in some way, you can go to sptv.space and you can actually look up and see who's live. You can go to different states and countries and see who's protesting in case you want to connect with people in that area. It's a great resource, but there's so many of them. So many of them. Now let's go over to Chicago, where Windy City Thetan Watch was helping a man who got recruited by Scientology to do he did a personality test, and they did the whole something that they're trained to do in Scientology that they learn from y'all. My ex-Scientology friends will remember this for sure. You guys remember Big League Sales? That's a book written by Les Dane, who was not in Scientology, but L. Ron Hubbard recommended that book as a sales technique. And you never give the person, you don't ask, you don't be like, would you like this book? You say, this is the book you need. Will that be cash or check? Or will that be cash or credit? That is what you are trained to do. And that's what they did to this guy who shares a little bit of his experience with Windy City, who lets him know that Scientology is a cult that he does not want to be going back to.
So what is it? Like, what is it?
So they call themselves the Church of Scientology, and it was made up by the science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard. At the end of the day, it's really just a money scheme. So the personality test was free, and they probably showed you a graph at the end, and it said, hey, you've got a little problem here, whether it's anger or communication, depression, anything. I've got a book that'll help you. You want to buy this book?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yep.
And the way they did it, though, it's like they didn't ask. It was just like, oh, so they put the book in my face? Oh, cash or card? I'm like, hold on, like, caught me way off guard. Like,
absolutely. And it just keeps on escalating from there.
Oh my God.
So, do you remember? You said you watched the movie. Do you remember? What do you remember about the movie that much?
I remember a lot about the movie. It was about how the book came about. About how apparently he was a doctor or something using Scientology to help make people feel better.
Right.
So what is it like? What is it?
So
that's so great that he was able to connect with him and share that. And that's right, declared Dave Love Suppressive Sherry. Sales patter. It was the sales patter that you drilled over and over and over again in Scientology. Sarah Browett, thank you so much for being a member for a month. I rarely catch a live, but love the replays. Natalie, so much value. Much love and hugs to you and my Tony. Thank you for that. And thank you, Stasia, as well, for being a member for a month. So glad to be part of this community. Thank you, Natalie, for being so strong and caring. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. All right. So, gosh, that just blows my mind. I'm just glad that he talked to that guy and let him know what was up. But I'm still just like that they're still doing that, cash or check, cash or card. Their sales pattern is still a thing. It is still a thing. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like button while you're here. Thank you very much for that. Just like you go over and you go click or you smash. However you like to do it, you do it because you do you, boo. I'm just here to share what is happening. Now, L. Ron Lyer over in St. Louis, you guys might recall that this woman, this Scientologist in a vehicle went ramming at him and stopped, threatening to hit him with her car. He had the whole thing on video, right? So another day, another dollar, the police show up for something and they're talking to him and he shares about this and they agree. They're like, oh yeah, that's like assault. You need to call us right away when that happens.
Right. Yeah. And I wasn't even
whatever angle she was going, but
I was
driving directly at you, like aiming towards the sidewalk like that.
Right.
They put you in any type of apprehension of being
right. I mean,
that is a form of assault.
Right. I mean, you can definitely see it in the video that it's like, and she's not coming this way. She is, and you can see her tire on the curb right there, almost in the grass. 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, maybe a week before that, her brother, the lady's brother that almost hit me with a car, he came out here and tried to steal one of my signs. And then I said I was going to call the police on him, and he came back out, and I got my sign back from him. And that was her brother.
Well, that's also why I say that.
Right. 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 And that's what the video shows. It's like you could tell she's coming just directly at me.
And another thing too is if something like that happens, I wouldn't wait.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, call us right away, man. If something like that happens, definitely do. Gabriel Badwolf, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Love, hugs, and positive healing vibes to you and my Tony. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Do you guys remember that video where the car came up and it was like, oh, I should have pulled up that clip. It wasn't that long ago, too. It wasn't. Yeah. But it's interesting too that they're like, yeah, you need to call us. Jess, RV salesman to Miss Natalie. This is the RV you need. Will that be cash, card, or credit? You know me too. I'll be like, take my money. If it's a really good RV, But yeah, that's my thing. That is my thing. Okay, so we are going to look at a couple clips from this because it was so bizarre. It was so cringe. Have you ever been, maybe it's a family get together or a work event or something like that? You see something happening, it's out of your control. It's so awkward, cringe, and weird. You want to leave, but you can't stop watching it. This is what happened outside of Scientology, Portland, with Declared Dave Love Suppressive Sherry. Oh my gosh. We're going to look at a few clips because I need to share this cringe with you guys because I just can't wash it off. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the silence, whatever. Dave, I give you so much credit for keeping it together and maintaining and being cool and continuing to communicate because I was watching this going, it's so cringy and weird. Maybe I just think that, I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments when you're watching this. We're going to look at a couple of these clips here. So Declared Dave Love Suppressive Sherry was at Portland, Oregon, outside. The Scientologists, no big surprise, are locked out. They're not being let in despite the fact that staff have already arrived. This went on. Dave, I think you're still here in the chat. Can you tell us how long it went on for? I swear it was over 10 minutes. I could hardly stand it. It really got my anxiety going because it was so cringe. Watch this, you guys.
Learn about the tone scale and the chart of human evolution, or you guys got some good wins out of the technology?
And that dude kept checking the door, like as if it's going to be unlocked and no one's going to open it. It's like going back and pushing that elevator button. Just get me out of this awkward situation. And Yon Tech was also deployed.
To help fix all your ARC breaks.
At first the guy's almost trying to confront Dave, like stand there and hold his face. This changes pretty quickly. The other two ladies are like, I don't know what. One's pretending to be on her phone. The other one's just staring off. Looking, where's the staff? I'm looking at my watch. The org should be open. I don't know what's happening.
Hopefully it wasn't too expensive to go up the bridge, wherever you are on the bridge. I saw the staff members.
Yeah, so he's like, I saw the staff walk in already. It's like amazing. You guys are still being locked out here. And just when you think it can't get any worse, it actually does. It goes on.
Golden Age of Tech 1, and then they had to do a Golden Age of Tech 2.
Now, the brilliant thing about this is Dave gets to let them know what the deal is, which is like, hey, while I have your attention, while I have this little bit of a capture group, you guys probably aren't going anywhere. Let's talk about how David Miscavige has squirreled Scientology and come up with this golden age of technology, 1. And then when that wasn't good enough, he came up with a golden age of technology, 2. And he's just letting them know all about it. And these Scientologists know this is true, and there's nothing they can do but listen to it.
And now there's a golden age of admin.
Checking the door again.
I thought Hubbard's...
He's got his hand on the door now. He is like ready to get in. He's about had it. The other lady has kind of turned her body more away as if that'll somehow shut Dave up, but it doesn't.
Words could never be altered. And yet, COB altered them.
Yeah, good point, SP Chef.
No opinions on that? The church lets you have an opinion on that?
Maybe if we look to the right, he'll go away.
I mean, everybody should have an opinion. You should be allowed to think for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't it said that what's true for you is true?
Mm-hmm. So they're out there. Finally, right? Oh, it was beyond awkward. It was so awkward. My hands are sweating right now. That's how cringy it is for me, and I think all of you. Yep, Blow Drill and SP Chef, exactly, SP Chef. We used to be able to talk to them early on. Yeah, you'd go out and go, hey, what's the deal? What's happening? I'm a Scientologist. Can I share some of my experience? And maybe they want to share some good experiences. We rarely ever see that. Why? Why wouldn't you do that, right? It's almost automatic. If I'm talking to my sister and I'm like, hey, did you see this movie? She's like, yeah, I saw it. I hate it. I'd be like, you know what? I watched it, but let me tell you what I got out of it. I really thought that blah, 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 blah. It's almost natural human nature, but they don't. Declared Dave says, I was just leaning up against a tree. Yeah, and Mandy Me says, I like that he's standing back and being very non-threatening. Me too. That's I just like, oh my gosh. Allie says, may Elleridge strike me down. God, I know, right? Isn't it just horrible? SB Chef says, calm Ev, the supervisor who passed them on their TRs. And that's the thing too. You literally talk about how trained you are. You hold the keys to communication, right? No, you do not. You do not. So finally, they get let in, but not after hearing a little more truth.
They probably know that you're standing out here. I feel bad for you guys. There is a foundation that will help you if you need to break away from the cult. It's called the SPTV Foundation. sptvfoundation.com or .org, any of those will work.
Checking the door again.
Just trying to have a good comm cycle with you guys.
You notice they've moved closer together. They're just trying to get as far away from Dave as possible on that step.
Communication is a universal solvent. We're supposed to communicate.
No communicating.
You guys have gone through grade 0. You're supposed to communicate with anyone about anything at any time.
That's right. On Scientology's own bridge to total freedom. If you do grade 0, you gain the ability to communicate with anyone about anything. So have these people just not done that, even though they've been in Scientology forever, it looks like?
And they probably know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is actually when they get let in. I just thought like the cringe fest was over. I didn't realize I had clipped this many here, but this is when they get in and there's someone else arrives.
You guys get regged all the time for IAS memberships and donations for this ideal org. Were you all part of that campaign?
Now dude's even like just facing just the complete opposite way at this point. He just can't even stand it. He is sitting there just racking up in dollars how much that SEC check is going to cost him, how much the interrogation and reprogramming will cost.
It's kind of weird where they make the members raise all the money to buy the building and to raise all the money to pay for the renovations, and then you have to turn around and give the building over to International, give it over to the landlord's office there in California, and then you have to pay rent.
That's right. Scientologists are told, hey, we're going to buy our own building so we no longer have to pay rent, because so many Scientology organizations are renting and they can't afford it. So they're always fundraising to be able to pay their rent. So they get sold this bag of lies. Well, guess what happens when they raise all the money to purchase and renovate these buildings? They now have to pay rent to the landlord's office, Scientology management, David Miscavige. So what he's saying there is true.
On the building that you bought and you paid for and you renovated.
Ooh,
out in California and other places, they've had people on what used to be called the RPF.
This lady calls, and finally dude opens the door.
Good Lord, man, you are out ethics for keeping these people outside for so long.
He is out ethics, out tech, out whatever. He is out all of it. Let me tell you. Oh, wasn't that just the cringiest thing you've seen in a long time? Oh my gosh. Maria says this was not cringe to me. This was awesome. It is. Maybe it's because I'm an ex-Scientologist. So it's like I feel both sides sometimes. Oh, that is some uncomfortableness for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And there were staff members already in the building. They didn't let him in. Why? I don't know. But Osa, you better wake up for that one. That was Portland, by the way, in case you lost track, but they should have just unlocked the door. Why are you locking the door? Stop locking the door. Scientologists can't get in. Maybe that's the whole idea, though. Maybe unconsciously in some way. Osa, did you give the order to just lock the front door when protesters show up so you can lock out Scientologists and make them look like asshats as they try to find a way in, like a mouse in a maze trying to get a piece of cheese? Maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe it is. Maybe some of you in OSA want to leave and you are subconsciously messing stuff up. If so, I'm here for it. You can go back and rest now. You can. You know, I was thinking this too, the SP chef, weird. They did not take out their flip phones to call reception. One lady did at the end. One was just on her phone. She didn't seem to be making a phone call. Maybe she was texting somebody being like, hey, we are out here and this guy is saying all kinds of things that are ringing true to me. So if you don't open this door in the next 30 seconds, I'm bailing. I doubt that. Ash, exactly. All are welcome, but we lock out our own members. Squirrel SPTV, I don't understand why they'd wait so long. I would have just gone home because you would get in trouble. You didn't make it go right. That is the way. That's what they say in Scientology. They would have totally gotten in trouble because somehow it's their fault for getting locked out. I don't know. It would be a thing. It would be a thing. Meanwhile, over in Austin, Pearl Snappy had a very intense conversation. Some might even say an interview, an important one there in Austin. Who'd she have the interview with, you say? You will just have to see for yourselves.
Excuse me, sir. Mr. Cockroach, are you aware that you are hanging out in front of a cult? Okay. Okay. So did you get this food that you seem to be devouring from the cult? And is it a hot dog? And have you been on course yet? Okay, you have not been on course, but you did take the personality test? Okay, and they told you that they can help you fix your communication with your family and your friends? Okay, that's great. That's great. Well, first of all, I just want you to know that they're lying. They are a child trafficking cult. And that's the most food that you're going to get from that cult ever. You're never going to get more than that.
Snappy. Pearl Snappy done snapped. That was absolutely hilarious. Claudia says she found David Miscavige. Maybe he's picked up another body, right? If you watch that video, there were roaches all over the place there. I didn't know. Is this an Austin thing? We get those big roaches in Hawaii, the kind that can fly. And this, I don't know if these are flying roaches as well. I just know I don't want any part of it, but I'm glad she's there setting them free. Oh, Lily, sad but true. He's eating better than Sea Org members. You know, there's probably some truth to that. Laura Estrada, thank you so much for that. Happy Monday. Naughty never ends. And SPs, you all rock. Absolutely, they do. Oh, that's funny, Marissa. I was just listening and not watching, and I was surprised to see a cockroach. Oh, I know. I was just waiting for it to take off. I'm like, I can't handle it if that thing flies. I swear I'm not going to be able to handle it. Not at all. Now, missing in Scientology was at Cambridge. And remember, Cambridge is supposed to be the largest. They're an ideal Scientology organization. They're in Canada, but nothing ever seems to be happening there. Well, she's out there checking things out, and Scientology, someone comes out and films her on the biggest camera I think I've ever seen. I don't know what this was about. You guys take a look and tell me what you think is happening here.
Sorry. She's trying to act all like not obvious. She's like trying to get as close to the fence as possible. Oh, she's filming me. I'm gonna film her back. Hi. How are you? Wow, we're filming her, filming us. How cool. Let's see who's gonna break off the camera. Stare down for, oh, looks like I won. I'm not sure what filming me was going to accomplish, but with her
Look how big that camera is. Look how big that thing is.
Camera. Sorry.
I mean, was that a camcorder? You guys remember those from back in the day? You'd put them over your shoulder. Was it right? Yeah, Maria, 1980 called and they want their technology back. Like, what is that? Do you have to take the VHS tape out and somehow transfer it? I mean, what happens there? Ooh, I don't know, Martha. Was that Yvette, head of OSA Canada? OSA, wake up. Get Yvette like a cell phone or, I mean, just something. There's so many ways you can stream and record. That's embarrassing and weird. It's just weird. It is weird. Okay, so people are saying yes, that's her. All right. You've seen her at Toronto.org. It's just so weird. That's right. It's a badge of honor to be cam-backed. Filming her, filming you, filming her, filming you. It should almost be a song. Filming you, filming me as we film each other. Yeah, no, that doesn't really work, but they tried. We tried. Trolling Scientology, when are you going to be there? How many of your viewers would join me at London Org in UK on Tottenham Court Road? When? Let's put it out there. Let's put it out there. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to make sure that you guys know that at 12 o'clock Central Time, myself and the SP chef are going to be sitting down and doing a little test on whether or not we are really suppressive persons as per Scientology. Many of you have wondered or maybe even desired to be a suppressive person. Do you have what it takes? Have you already achieved that state and maybe you don't know? Well, we're going to have a test for you. We're going to have questions and it might surprise you because I think that some of you are going to hear this and find out that you already qualify as a suppressive person in Scientology. Some of you might not be. So we're going to give you some ideas on how to get there, how to achieve the state of suppressive person as far as Scientology is concerned, because as you can tell, we have a lot of fun with that here. And since I have achieved the state of suppressive person in Scientology, my life has never been the same. It hasn't. I could go on and on about it. It's going to be a ton of fun. So I hope you can join. That's going to be at 12 p.m. Central Time. So check your time zone and all that. I already put out a notification about it. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so on top of it. I even already sent them the link. Often when I'm doing an interview, it's like 10 minutes before. Here's the link. Yeah, really feeling on it. Here's what I would like to do, though, as we wrap it up here. Let's make sure, though. I think I got pretty much most of the questions here. Let's see. Jesse, what's the point of recording the protesters when they know they're being filmed too? This is Scientology math and mental gymnastics. L. Ron Hubbard said that when somebody is being critical of Scientology, to do a noisy investigation. Maybe that's why the camera is so big, because she wants that protester to know she's being recorded. She's not trying to be sly about it. Maybe a little phone is too small. She wants it to be noisy. That's why she brings out that big old camcorder. She probably should have had it on her shoulder and be like, I am recording you. I want it to be obvious. I want you to know that I'm recording you, recording me, because despite the fact that you're on YouTube and live streaming right now, I'm going to let people know that you're doing this. They don't get it. Scientology doesn't understand, one, internet culture. Number two, culture outside of the 1950s. Number three, they just don't understand how live streaming works and how it's not a big deal. Go ahead and post a photo of somebody live streaming. They're already in front of cameras. They tried to do that to intimidate Scientology Audit Streets LA, Jessica Palmadessa, Confident Chris, and so on in the early days of the Hollywood Testing Center. It was hilarious, hilarious. Meanwhile, exactly this, Sassy Savage, you took the words right out of my mouth. Protesters are doing a noisy investigation into Scientology, 100%. So they feel like they need to, just do that back. So I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat there. So before you all head out here, I would love it if you would check your subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you still plan on sticking around here, go head over to JDSA. He is out there live. I love doing a J raid. Let's see, I'm going to put the link in the chat. That'll get you to at Denver Scientology Audit. Jay is currently live. Let's do a little Natalie raid and hit him up and give him some love. He's just coming off his security shift where he records overnight. So let's go wish him a lot of hellos and good morning and how are you and all the good stuff. Head over to Jay. Again, it's at Denver Scientology Audit. He is live, just a little link in there. I'll put it in there again, just for good measure there. Marilyn will be live in 18 minutes. That's awesome. Awesome. The whole community is waking up here, and there is so much to talk about, even throughout the day. So do tune in to the different SPTV creators and beyond on these topics. Come back at noon my time if you can catch us live. If not, catch us on the replay. The SP Chef is going to be here, and we're going to be having some fun figuring out, are we really suppressive people? And are you? Most importantly, you're going to want to do this quiz on yourself. In the meantime, everybody get out there and have the most amazing cult-free day.